Hello, and welcome to English and Immigration, your source of information about Canada. On this channel, we're discussing the realities of Canada, what life is really like in this country, and what you can do to adapt to it faster and successfully. So, the topic of today's video is speaking politely in Canada. Now, the reason I chose to do this topic is because a lot of immigrants coming to Canada think that they are polite, but they're not polite enough by Canadian standards. And of course, they discover it months down the road. So you can discover it right now, right here. And first of all, you probably already know that most Canadians are polite. At least they speak politely. They use the words like please, sorry, thank you in almost every sentence. And that's not enough. They also use something else to make their sentences polite. Now, that's what immigrants need to learn. Now, the words like please, sorry, thank you are taught to children when they're really, really small. And I've seen the situation where immigrant children would actually be upset with their immigrant parents because the children already learned all those polite words and the parents are kind of catching up to them. But what we're talking today is that secret politeness, and that is achieved through modal verbs. Now, there's a difference between an order and a polite request, and that's what we're talking about today. And if you tend to use a lot of imperative forms, people will think that you sound rude. Now, what is an imperative form? Imperative form is an order. It's when you say something like, give me a copy. Now, give me this is an order. It's very strong and it's very rude. So if I want to make it polite, if I change this to, could you give me a copy? That makes it polite. But if I just say, give me a copy, please, not good enough. Still rude, still an order, even though you added the word please to it. So that's a lot of immigrants think, oh, if I just include in my sentences the word please, thank you, and all those polite words, that's enough. And already I am polite. And in fact, they actually sound very, very rude because they're not using could, they're not using would. That's the situation. So sentences like, come here, please. That's an order. That's rude. Or sit down, please. Too hard for Canadians. So what you want to do is you want to say, could you come here? Or would you like to sit down? That makes it polite. So it's actually very easy to speak politely in Canada if you just include could and would in your sentences. Now, who needs to speak politely? 70% of all the jobs in Canada are customer service. And when you're talking to customers or clients, you do need to sound politely. So chances are, in your job, you need to speak politely. And if you don't want to lose a job, you need to learn to use could and would when making requests or asking people to do something. Now, on the other hand, if you are a customer, if you are a paying customer and you come to, say, a coffee shop or a restaurant, you don't need to be so polite because you are the person with the money in hand. And it doesn't matter if you sound polite or not polite because they want your money. They will smile, say thank you, and no problem. Now, important thing to understand that in Canada, as I said, 70% of all jobs are customer service. So many of the jobs that are not customer service in other countries are actually customer service in Canada. And that is usually a discovery for most immigrants. So jobs like nurses, jobs like teachers in some like ESL schools, for example. Receptionist is a customer service. Cashier is a customer service job. So a lot of jobs you don't think they're customer service, but they actually are customer service. And what could happen if you don't speak politely Either the business will lose customers because of you, or you will lose a job, which also happens, which you don't want to happen, right? Three situations. Well, three. So, first situation, you're working and you have a customer service job. Now, speaking politely is the way to keep your job. You speak politely, customers are happy, your manager is happy, they think you're an excellent worker. Second situation is what we discussed if you are a paying client. And in that case, it doesn't really matter if you're polite or not. It's your choice. And the third situation is if you need something. Like if you want to make a request, if you're asking for something. The more politely you ask, the more chances that you are getting what you're asking. So if you want to get something, be polite. Be polite, and I'm not talking about please and thank you. I'm talking about could and would. Let's say situation, you're at the coffee shop. And at the coffee shop, you're a paying client, which means that you don't need to be very, very polite. All you say is just, can I get coffee? Can I get a muffin, a donut, whatever you're buying? Right? So your sentence at the coffee shop is, can I get? Same thing if you're at the restaurant, if you're making order or you're ready to pay your bill, can I get this and this dish, like rice with chicken? Or can I get the bill, please? Again, you're the paying customer. You don't need to be super polite. You are, let's say inviting somebody. Like you made a new friend and you're inviting them to come to your house. And at that point, you want to be polite. So you would ask them, would you like to join our party? Would is polite. So if you made a new friend, you're inviting them, you need to be polite. You need to leave early on the day, and you're asking your manager if you could leave early. Now, if you think about it, you really want it. That's with your need situation. So you need to be very, very polite. And in this case, your sentence will be even more polite. And you would say, would it be possible? So again, you're using would, but you're also saying possible. Would it be possible for me to leave earlier? And that's how you make a very, very polite request. Okay, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.